What up, YouTube world? Welcome back to Pop on Fans and Fighting with your host Hugo, aka Too Much. Like I always say, don't ever get comfortable being comfortable because life can change at any given moment. Accept the good, don't worry about the bad because that too shall pass. Other than that, um, the best gift I got in life was the opportunity to feed myself physically and mentally. We're always in a position to learn something. You can learn something every day from the conversation you have with every single person. You take a little bit of what you heard from them that you want to keep, and then you mix it up with a little bit of what you got, and you put that. That's called gain. So, if we focus on the outcome, not the obstacle, then we'll realize what's really important in life. Sometimes we doubt ourselves, not knowing that someone else is admiring our strength. So, you know, be aware that you might be impacting someone's life without even knowing it. Like, here's a real quick. I remember, right? I was with this person, and then this person was like carefree. You know what I mean? Like carefree, like would just spend money. Pow, pow, would work hard for her money, but would spend her money. In my mind, when I was hustling, when I used to do things, right? I used to stack my money on the side, right? And I would play with my money, and then I'd stack money. So one day I was like, man, like I wish I was like that, because I'm still like that to this day. I'm always counting and thinking money, thinking about I'm just thinking of like like I don't want to spend money and then I got to count money in my head on how much money I spend or whatnot, right? So I used to be like, man, I wish I was carefree, right? And then this person told me, she was like, well, you know what I like about you? And I was like, what? They're like that you're just so on point with your money. I wish I was more like that. And then that tricked me out a little bit, because I was thinking like, damn, dudes, like in hindsight, I was telling this person like, hey, I wish I was more carefree like that. Like, man, let's go spend all this money. We're gonna get it back anyways in a week, right? Paycheck. I'm thinking that I want to be like that, but this person was telling me, in hindsight, like I said, I wish I was more like you, where I would just stack my money instead of just blowing it. So that was pretty neat to me. It made me think of two different perspectives on how two different minds think, and that right there itself is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. That's what I love about life. That's what I love about when you meet people. That's what I love about just individualities, of how people just think different than yourself. That's cool. You know what I mean? I can admire that. Um, just be you. You know what I'm saying? This world, we don't need duplicates unless you have a twin. But just be you. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. And let the world catch up to your life. Don't adjust your way to the world. You know what I mean? We got too many followers. Too many people want to do other things. The social media thing, I look at social media like this. To me, this is a source of entertainment. You can learn some, but this ain't all life. Like, I don't have to tell something that's not true on social media, because that's not true to me. I feel like that ain't real life. You know what I mean? People want to talk about the good stuff on social media, but they don't talk about the bad stuff. You won't talk about someone talking about something bad happened on their social media. You just really won't. Everybody wants to up, or everybody's happy. That ain't real life. In real life, we have people struggling. We have in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is your greatest. That's the greatest thing that you can have locked up, not even knowing. You don't have to be locked up to be locked up in your head, and that's just some real spit right there, some real spill. You know what I mean? Until you change the way of thinking, then the same outcome is always going to be in every situation. So you got to be able to think differently. You can't just think the way everyone else thinks. That's the whole point of you being an individual. The whole point of you being who you are. One of my teammates asked me when he hears my stories or watches the stories, he asked me like, "Hey, Hugo," I'm like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" He's like, "Why were these dudes so loyal to you?" And I told him, I was like, "Bro, they were loyal. My crew, the crew that I handpicked and put on my team, they were loyal to me because I was loyal to them. I showed them a different way. I wasn't doing bad, making them do bad. We're doing bad already, but we did it together. So I was a good leader. And you might be like, well, that's not a good leader. Nah, I never betrayed my people. Um, I never fought with my people. You know what I mean? That was just the way that I taught myself to teach the people I was trying to bring up. So I was just a good leader. You know what I mean? I never betrayed them. I just kept it 100% real. What I like about my crew too, I always told them there's never be ashamed or afraid to express how you really feel. I cry in front of my people. I tell them if I'm hurting in front of my people. Um, I feel like my real people, that's who you should be able to do that with. You should be able to do that with anyways and not care what anyone else thinks. But my people, my team, they've seen the hurt in me before. So they know they seen the hurt in me before, and they've seen the rawness in me before. They seen the good and the bad. They seen me get vicious, and then they see me also sad and broken down. You know what I mean? So I always try to express to them, like, look, man, we family. You don't never have to hide any feelings. If you're hurt, then you're hurting, bro. You call me, I'm gonna pull up and try to put a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. So that's why my people. That's why my team followed my lead. You know what I mean? Because I kept it 100% honest every time. Never had a lie. There's no reason to lie. So it's not through healing that you will love yourself. You got to love yourself before you can love anyone else. So sometimes people think because of hurt they have to heal then be able to love again. Nah, you got to love yourself first. That's cool. Love yourself first, so then you can understand how to love somebody else. I had that problem. I didn't understand that. I was more on something like, it's all about me. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. I lost a couple good people doing that. I understand it now. I get it. So, with that being said, you got to love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, you can spread your love to everybody else. The greatest lesson I've learned in life is that I still have a lot to learn. I don't know everything. This 41 years of thug life. I changed it. It's not thug life no more. But it was 41 years of learning. That's what it was. My life is 41 years of learning and still learning. I don't know everything at all. I'm good at it. I always say this. It sounds condescending, but so what? I say, I'm not good at anything, but if you give me time, I'll become great at everything. So that's how I just believe in my own mindset. That's how strong I am. You put me to do something, if I don't know how to do it, give me some time, I'll be great at it. That's just how I think. That's just my thought process. You know what I mean? Not everyone is going to support you, and it's okay. Not everyone is meant to support you. A lot of people are going to think that your ideas are silly. A lot of people are not going to believe that what you're doing might be good for you or whatnot or whatever. They're just not going to believe in your dreams. It's okay. It might even be your own people. It's okay. All you got to do is stay focused and keep grinding. Keep putting in that work. They're going to see. Eventually, you know what? Man, when he speaks, he tells the truth because he sticks to what he's talking about. And that's what I do, right? So it's okay. It's okay if no one supports you. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be mad because they don't. That's just the way they think. It's okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like everybody else. Be your own person. Don't ever switch up with somebody else just because they're not liking what you're doing or don't understand what you're doing yet. It's okay. We all got different journeys. We all got different paths. It's all right. You know what I mean? So don't worry about it when people ain't supporting you and it ain't there. You know what I mean? Just know that someone else that you don't know is supporting you, is cheering for you, wants you to win. And if they ain't, I am. That's a fact. That's a promise. I want everybody to win. I was tired of seeing people lose. I lost so much in life. Shoot, it's time for us to turn it around and have everybody win. Let's all get it. You know what I'm saying? Stop the hate. Stop player hating. Stop I'm not saying player as in playing women. I'm just saying we're a player in the street in the game of life. You know what I mean? So don't focus on hating anybody or um or not understanding someone else's ways. Like let them do what they do and just cheer for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would want. That's what I would want. Just cheer for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to cheer for me, it's okay too. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you. Do what you do. Um, don't change being good to people just because someone else ain't. You know what I mean? You got a good heart, be a good person. You know what I'm saying? It might take other people time to catch up. Hey, let them catch up. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, like I was saying, I wanted to talk about depression, right? Like, here's a real quick thought process that I was having. So when I used to be on the streets in the hood in the neighborhood, I remember me and my little squad, my team, like people would talk, a lot of these people that I knew they've been in prison, right? So they would talk about how many years they did, and then other people like use that as validation for them being some kind of hardcore person. In my mind, I used to think like, man, that's not hardcore. You just got caught. You know what I mean? You got caught. That means so. I don't know why we're praising that. Oh man, that dude did that much time in prison. To me and my little squad were thinking like, that's dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something to brag about. What the fuck? Excuse my language, but like I was like, that's not something to brag about. You know what I mean? Me and my people were like, I'd rather be out on the streets. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I remember when I went to jail, right? It would always take me time when I came out of jail to readjust to the world, because I understand that in jail, it's a totally different world. Jail is just like the streets, but without women. Um, there's drugs, there's everything in jail as there is out here, but there is just no women. Um, but it's a lot different in your mentality. It messes you up because every time I would go to jail, I would have to abide by some politics that I do not believe in. Um, so I would just be like, I'd come out and it'd take me a couple months to readjust to the world, because I feel like everything that was said or had to be said right, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and if it's taken in disrespect, then there's gonna be problems, and that's how it wasn't there. So when I came out on the streets, I would always kind of like it take me a couple months, maybe a month the most, to wig out of that little thought process of like being too serious. That's what I mean. I feel like you had to be too serious in there. You couldn't be joking around. Someone might take it the wrong way, and then there might be problems or whatnot. So to like, I used to think like that. Like, dang man, like you can't go around me and my team and then expect for us to bow down to you just because you did some prison time. You got tattoos on your face, and we're like, oh my god, he's hard. I don't believe in that thing, like man. So the thing I used to think was like, look, bro, in prison, you're in prison. So in your mind, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You always have to watch your back. You know that it's the doggy dog eat world in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I used to think that. I don't think it's harder than out here on the streets in life. And the reason why I say that, because I believe like out here you don't know, and there at least when you're in jail or in prison, you know. I never been in prison. Let's do that disclaimer. So you got, but listen, I'm talking about jail, but I can only fathom or understand what happened by just knowing people. So I would just be like when we come out, I feel like we're so serious, but when we're in there, we're just following orders, right? But I didn't believe in all that. So instead, I started thinking like, man, that is crazy. Like I hear on the streets, we don't have to worry about nobody. Yeah, things can happen if you're in a life of crime. Like I said, you die, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So you expect that. But at least in prison, you know that's coming at any given moment. Out here, you can be relaxed. You can just be chilling. You can just be walking your dog. You don't know what you're doing. Someone just come up, pah, pah. That's it. At least in prison or in jail, you always have to be on your P's and Q's. Something goes off a little bit, something feels a little awkward, be on your shit, because something might go down. So I used to think that was kind of weak mentality, right? But then I started really thinking. I sat there one day, and I'm talking about when I sat here one day, I was talking about probably like last week. I was thinking like, you know what? That way of thinking I used to think was kind of dumb, because I have an older brother. My brother did 10 years. Now, I know for a fact that anyone does that kind of time, did that kind of time, or any kind of time, that if that little 1 month messes with my mind that bad, so imagine doing some extensive years. I believe that gives you PTSD for sure. I believe that in my heart. We don't know what the person went through in his mentality, or what he had to go through, what he had to do, what he had to go through. We don't know that. So I started thinking to myself, like, man, that's sad. You know what I mean? And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I believe, like, man, that is sad. That is sad that there's people out here that ended up making a mistake, going to prison, coming out, and now they're traumatized, and it's going to be for the rest of your life. The reason why I say that is because you can ask anybody that's either been in jail or been in prison, like, they'll always have that, like, mentality of try not to get got over on. You know what I'm saying? And that sticks with them, even though in life probably no one's even thinking like that, but their mind was so messed up from being in prison or jail that they started thinking that on their own, and that comes from being PTSD. That comes from trauma. You know what I mean? And trauma, that creates a whole bunch of stuff in your own head, and then you get depressed because you can't handle it. Now, depression, it's different. It hits hard. It hits everybody different, and it hits everybody hard. We can't talk about what depression looks like, because you don't know. Sometimes people tell me that I carry hurt on my face good. I carry the hurt good. Like, it doesn't look like I got problems. But I tell everybody this: I got problems every day. Every day in my mind, I battle between good and evil, and I'm just happy that the good wins every day. I've been having that battle in my head ever since 2016, when I got in trouble. You know what I mean? It made me I always think, like, it's so easy to go that way. It's easy to go the wrong route. It's easy. You could just pick up some drugs, pick up some guns, and then do what I did: go to a neighborhood and start taking over spots and shit like that. But you know the consequence. You know what I mean? And it ain't worth it anymore to me at all. So I look at my people that have been in prison and jail, and I think about, man, that is sad, dude. That is heartbreaking. You know what I mean? They are forever traumatized, forever. There's no time limit on when it's gonna stop. It's forever, and that goes into depression with a lot of people, a lot of other people. Now, depression can come into it can come into a whole bunch of different ways, like death. Death, right? Death itself can get someone in depression, and they can't get out of it. That might be what triggered their mind, chemical imbalance, to forever think of a certain way and not let that way ever stop being thought that way. You know what I mean? So a death, like I said, that can get you in depression bad. I believe that sometimes I get into depression when I hear people passing away. That gets me to some funk, and all depression, to me, I feel like it is. It's just that you're sad, and you just keep getting sadder, and you keep getting sadder, and you just can't get yourself out of that. So we gotta watch out, man, because we start overthinking. You know, we start overthinking. We start making up situations in our head that most likely ain't even real, but our head, our mentality is making us believe that, and that's what I'm saying. Depression is real. Depression will get you. You know, like, it's trauma. PTSD is trauma. Depression is trauma. If something dramatic had happened in your life that made your head flip, your brain flip, and you had that up and downs. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't understand depression. I don't think I got into depression. Hey, stop. I don't think I got into depression until I got in trouble with the feds, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I know this is for reals, because look, before I got in trouble with the feds, remember when I was saying all I did is post up on the block, carry pistols, sell drugs, right? at that time in my life, whether the way it sounds, it would. And another disclaimer, let me say something. When I tell these stories, even though it looks like I'm probably smiling and happy and talking about it, it's a war story. This is what happened. This is not something that that I um, I advocate. You know what I'm saying? This is not that I'm totally against that. I don't do no crime. That's not my thing. I'm not for it. So I just don't want you guys thinking that I'm glorifying a story that I'm telling. It's a story that I'm telling on why I changed my ways because I was tired of that life. But like I was saying, so I don't think I got into depression until I got in trouble with the feds because like I was saying before, we were just out there in the neighborhood doing what we do. You don't have time for depression. You don't have time for them kind of emotions. Um, you know what? I remember now we would have some of the homies out there would be state certified. They get the low SSI checks and all that. And we knew they were chemically imbalanced in the brain about something. They might look normal, but then there might be once you start chopping it up with them, you start seeing like, oh my God, this guy right here, he's a little cuckoo, right? For the Cocoa Puffs, right? But and it's not necessarily drugs; it's just the mentality, things like that, right? And you get a lot of that when you're in the hood, anyways. Um, but when we're in the neighborhood, you don't have time for all that. You ain't got time for man. Life is happening so fast when you're doing what I was doing that I didn't even know the word depression. There's not one time I can remember before 2016 where I could just sit there and be like, man, I was in the neighborhood out there just getting my money, thinking like, man, I'm depressed. Man, this is sucks. Like I said, I was in that young mind thinking stupid ways, thinking like I'm gonna do this forever. I'm gonna get my money. It is what it is. Thug like, man, I didn't have time for depression. Didn't even know what that was. It was until the feds got me, right? I remember one day, this is when I specifically remember there was something wrong with me. Mind you, I can't do drugs at all. I'm not even doing drugs. I'm a rock star, but I wasn't doing drugs, right? Wasn't even drinking and stuff like that. So one day I was driving home from work, and I remember like I was like, man, I have so many rules I have to follow. And mind you, I never follow rules. So I have so many rules I have to follow. Any little slip up where I mess up and I get violated, I'm doing 10 years. So I had that over my head. That got me into depression. I was depressed. I was depressed before that while I was fighting my case. I went to a terrible depression. Didn't want to do nothing. I would just go to work, go home, and lay in bed all day because on my mind I'm thinking like, man, I'm gonna go to prison. I'm laying next to the person that I love, and I'm not gonna be laying next to him no more. I'm gonna have to be laying in prison. You know what I mean? So I would just the feds got me into depression really bad. Even after my case was settled, and I still had to do them years on probation, right? If I violated, I'd get them 10 years. So I remember one day I was driving out and I just started crying. I started thinking like, dude, I feel like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like like what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong? Like, I'm not happy at all. And it wasn't nowhere near like my work relationship. And it wasn't that. It was just that's when I knew I fell into depression. But I was sad about myself. Like I wanted to do so many things, but I couldn't because I felt like I had something over my head, which was the FEDs, the FBI. You know what I mean? But so I knew for a fact that got me into depression, and I would go home and I would just stress out, right? I would have stupid thoughts in my head about just, man, I wanted to do bad so bad. So I know I went into depression. And one thing about going into depression, I don't think you know when you get out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a day by day mental illness. That's what it is, I think, sometimes, because you can go into bad depression where you can start hurting your own body. You know what I'm saying? You can start eating. You can stop taking care of yourself. You can stop caring about anything about hygienic about yourself or whatnot, and that's how you know you're going into depression. So, or that you've been in depression. So, like I said, man, when I was in trouble with the feds, it started making me think like, man, I never knew about these words about depression. Like I said, when I was in the neighborhood, man, it was all just fun. To me, at that time, it was just fun. It was the whole time I was out there. There's not one time I was sad ever. in the neighborhood at all. I'm talking about I had the most glorious. I felt like a little movie star. Everybody knew me. I was doing my thing. I was on top of the world. I had, you know what I'm saying? Whatever comes with money, I had that. Um, so I don't remember one time ever being in depression. Like I said, it was until I got caught with the feds, and then I had to live life straight sober. I couldn't do anything, and then I know I'm making it sound like it's sad, but it's not sad. What's crazy, that's real life. That is what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, oh my God, it was sad. Nah, I'm saying that is what opened my eyes to understanding that. Now, once I understand what depression was, I understand how other people can fall into depression. And sometimes the people we love that we don't know what battles they go through in their heads, you can see it from the outside looking in that sometimes they're falling into depression. You know what I'm saying? And it has to do with a lot of everything. Life ain't going right. Like I said before, prior death, like a death had happened. You might not get back from that, especially if it's someone close, like a sibling or a mother, a daughter, a father. You know what I'm saying? That is something that I feared that for my people. That don't happen if something of their people pass away, right? I'm over here slurring my words, but I'm tired. It's already like what 11:30. But anyways, like I was saying, so to me, depression, like it's something mass. You can't smell it, you can't taste it. You just get into a funk. It's hard to get out of that funk. You know what I'm saying? Everyone can tell you, oh man, just cheer up, oh do. You know what I mean? You're your own person. You're your own being. You're your own heart. You don't know how your own mind thinks. So it's all you can get is great advice. But here's some advice. If you ever fall into depression, just be around your good people. Be around your uplifting, motivation people. Be around people that want to do good only and see you do good. Don't get in depression and start being around people that are down themselves, because you guys are. It's just set for crashing. That's what it is. So, I just wanted to bring this up because I don't think that we talk about it enough. I don't think that we understand it enough. Someone right now, I guarantee, is going through depression. You wouldn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm a little depressed, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. But what I'm saying is I got good people. So I will never harm myself. I will never. That's another thing that's sad, man. Depression can take you to farther places than you know it. It can get you into drug addiction. It can get you into hurting yourself. It can get you to hurting other people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful of what it can do to people. PTSD as well. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we look at people and we want to judge them, don't judge them. We don't know their whole story. I judge people, but I judge people in a joking way. Like I joke around, make fun, but I don't, in my heart of hearts, literally believe any ill will towards anybody that I conversate with. That's just me. I don't believe in all that. Not anymore. I don't. So like I was saying, I just wanted to drop this little video, talk about depression and PTSD, and if you guys ever get into some depression, just reach out to someone you really love, man. You should never hold something like that back. A lot of people are scared, but like I said, I try to tell my teammates. I'm in my squad, my crew, my little neighborhood crew. I used to tell them to act on your emotions. So if you feel a certain emotion, just because I'm around and you look at me some type of way, don't be scared. Because if you're hurting, you're hurt. And, if you're hurt, I'm hurting. That's just the way it is. I tell that to everybody, man, all my real people. Like, if you're hurt, it hurts me. You know what I'm saying? For other people that I've ever hurt, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I truly apologize. For all the people that have hurt me, I forgive you. The only way to move up is to the top. You know what I'm saying? And leave everything else behind. Sometimes I think that we let other people influence our thinking, which is not necessarily good for us because they don't know the whole story. So you got to be mindful what you're picking up when someone's telling you something, because they might not have the best intentions, or they might not know what you're going through, and they might just say something that's breaking you instead of upping you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, like I said, I pray for all you guys, man. If you guys ever need somebody, you can always reach out to Hugo. I'm always gonna be here regardless. I'm always gonna help my people make it to the top, man. I don't want to see no one lose. You know what I'm saying? Like I said it before, man. I'm tired of seeing people lose. I'm tired of people. Thinking it's okay not to live their life. Like that, it's okay. The thing about me, sometimes I stay down before I come up. Like I already know how it goes. Sometimes greatness takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Kind of like working out at the gym. Muscles don't happen overnight. Like my jiu-jitsu class, you can't go there one day and expect to be the best. It takes time. So I know that. So sometimes what I do to myself, which it might seem odd to my people, my family, my crew, whatever, I like to stay away because I gotta gather my head. I gotta gather my head, my thoughts, and I gotta make a plan. I gotta execute that plan, and sometimes I gotta do that alone. Especially lately, I've been understanding that I gotta do that alone. Sometimes I recently got comfortable being comfortable, and I'm talking about like a couple of days ago. I had to tell myself I was doing stupid shit. I was at work, right? I noticed that when on my new job, this job that I got, I started picking up bad habits that I had, which I know was not good for my body anyways. I started smoking too much cigarettes. I took like a shot while I'm out, like, you know what I mean, before work, stuff like that. So I had to check myself, like, Hugo, this ain't you. Why are you doing this? What's wrong? So I had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you know what, man, let's get your shit together, man. Let's go back to the top. It's okay, man. We'll all go through it one time or another. So with that being said, man, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay focused. Y'all try to always elevate to the top. No reason for us to stay at the bottom. And like I said, if you guys are ever hurting, man, don't be afraid to show a real emotion, because we have too many people hiding the real feelings instead of expressing how they really feel. Now, with that being said, this Saturday I will drop a video about a story. This story is gonna be one big reason on why I think the way I think, in the sense of being grateful for second chances, and why I believe in God. Not everybody has to believe in God, but I do, and I'm gonna pray for everybody. So with that being said, much love, and y'all have a good night.